guys, welcome back to Mums in Melanin. My name is Takunbo.
I'm Ayoola.
I'm Debbie.
I'm Takoni.
And today we're in for a treat. We're going to hear another pregnancy story. So Ayoola, if you could take it from here.
This is my treat, guys.
We're living it. Get some gems and some nuggets, some information. Learn.
Okay, so as you all know, I have a little boy. His name is Micaiah Zane. He's 3 going 4 in the next few months. So I'll take you all the way back before Micaiah was actually born. I think it was a year before. I got pregnant. I wasn't actually trying, but I got pregnant when I was on holiday. I didn't know. I just started having that, that sick feeling.
Yeah.
But I still didn't know. And then I had bleeding gums. Who knew that bleeding gums?
Oh,
Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
If you brush your teeth and your gums are just...
Yeah, you get bleeding gums in
profusely,
pregnancy.
I ever thought I was losing a tooth or something. I was like, what's happening here? Like, every time I literally put my toothbrush in my mouth, it just starts bleeding. But because I didn't know that to be a symptom, I just thought, when I get back home from the holiday, I need to a dentist. I didn't think anything of it. And then every now and again, I get that kind of nauseous... It's nauseous feeling, exactly. But again, I just didn't really think much of it. So anyways, fast forward, I got back home. No, my period didn't come after I was on holiday. But because I was on holiday, I thought it was just delayed. I was delighted. I was like, I could live my life, you know. No one has to be dealing with all of that kind of stuff in a hot country. Who wants to be doing that? So it was only delayed by like a few days, but sometimes my periods change like its sequence. I didn't think much of it. So anyways, got back to the UK. That was all great and good. And then I think I went then I realised, okay, this period still hasn't come. Took my test, all the rest of it, found out I was pregnant, blah, blah. And then unfortunately, I miscarried, fine. So fast forward now, a year later, I got pregnant with Micaiah. And at this point, I think because I'd had a miscarriage, I was definitely so much more conscious with everything. I think so the first one, when I was pregnant with the first one, by the time I got back from holiday, I told my best friend, I think I took her to go and eat somewhere, and I was like, oh, guess what? I was just so excited, told her, blah, blah, baby's coming, chit-chatting about all of that. So from that experience to now being pregnant again, this time I was like, I'm not saying anything to anyone. I want to go for my first scan. I want to make sure everything's actually as it's supposed to be before I even start sharing anything. Because it's one thing dealing with loss yourself, it's another thing having to now explain to other people what's happened. It's just, it's a lot. So when I was pregnant with Micaiah, rather than wait, I wasn't going to wait for nothing. I was going to those early pregnancy units, EPU, is it called, or ECU or something like that. And I'd go there and say, my back's hurting me, I think something's wrong. My back was hurting me, nothing's wrong. But it was the only way to get in and just get these scans, because I just wanted to make sure that, because, miscarriage I'll speak about another time, but because of the way that miscarriage happened, there's particular things I wanted to be sure of earlier on. So I went to the hospital, they did the internal scan for me. You could only see like just about a dot, really, isn't it? What can you really see? But I was
How
like,
old were you at this point?
I think I might have been like 7 weeks.
Okay,
so 7 weeks. So it was very, very, very early.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I just want to know that,
everything's all right.
Exactly. So because miscarriage happened in different forms. So again, I'll explain in another video. Anywho, so saw the dot and I was like, okay, we've seen the dot. Dot exists, great. So obviously and to be honest, I feel like I was going to that early pregnancy unit. Every 2 weeks, to be honest. I just kept going, like every now and again I'd be like, I'm gonna go. And I just wanted to just make sure everything was okay. So I think that's the kind of downside to losing, to suffering from loss and losing a baby. You just get paranoid. Like, I'm a Christian, I have faith, but because something's happened to me before, it was just like, let me just be sure that, do you know what I mean? And if there is, also because of what I experienced previously, I feel like if you can detect something sooner, it's better for me. So it's even also that side of things.
When you experienced the miscarriage?
I was about 18, 17 weeks.
Okay.
So I'd passed the 3 month threshold. I was closer to 4 months than 3 when that happened. I think 18 weeks. Anyways, so I was going every 2 weeks. I'd just pop in, do my little thing, then I'll walk over, skip a little spring in my step, feeling good. And so fast forward to the actual 3 month scan now. Went for the 3 month scan because the funny thing is when you get pregnant, the wait to tell people feels so much longer. Because you really want to say something. And
it's the excitement.
So anyway, when we finally got to the 3 month scan, got there, saw the little scan and everything. It was just so nice. Like, he looked like a bit of a bird, actually. Like, just like,
He's too cute.
Sorry,
Ayoola, you're too much.
But he just looked like, you know, they're not quite fully formed at that point. Where it's fine. But anyways, baby was there, like me and Sadiq left, and we were just so happy. Obviously, coming off the back of that, it was just like, baby's here, it's happening, we're gonna be parents, we can now be excited. Do you know what I mean? And I think, obviously, lots happens at different times for people. So you're, as a female who's been through it and know who people have been through it at different stages, you're still always kind of conscious of those kind of things behind the back. Sorry, I got sore throat, guys, management. Behind the back of your head. However, generally it was just joy. Like, it was just, here we go. Like, do you know what I mean? So now it's time to spread the news. I got a picture of the scan, and that's what I did. I'd FaceTime. So I'd FaceTime my sister first, and I was like, how are you? What are you up to? I was like, oh, I need to show you something. I forgot. Oh, I forgot to show you. She's like, what? She's on the way to work. Early in the morning, I'm clearly excited. And I used the phone, I showed her the picture on FaceTime, and she's like screaming, and I'm there screaming too by myself. Just like excitement. I was so excited to tell everybody, told you guys, all the rest of it, fun. Anyways, pregnancy itself was generally fine. I wasn't really sick. I had a lot, the fatigue was a lot, like I was always tired. Like you wake up tired, you come out of the bath and you just feel like you need to go back to bed. Like the fatigue was a lot. But in terms of like morning sickness, funny enough, this pregnancy I didn't have it at all. Me bleeding gums, nothing. Like, I was generally fine. I was generally healthy, and I just had this I used to really hate chicken and chips. Like, I just found it to be very disgusting. That's the one thing I always wanted. And I didn't want the name brand one. There's one called Maxie's on Old Kent Road, yeah. That who knows if it's clean the kitchen? That was the one I wanted. I was like, I need Maxie's.
You need a greasiest grease.
Greasiest of them all.
Yeah.
And I wanted 10 wings and chips, and somehow I finished all of it to the bone. 10 wings. Has to be 10, it can't be short. And like, honestly, like, later now, like, Sadiq, we need to go to Maxie's. He's like, no, look, Molly's can deliver. I'm like, no, we need Maxie's. So my cravings, I had those kind of cravings, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it anyway. It was fine, did what it needs to do for me. Then by the time I got to my final trimester, when I started hitting about 7 months, preeclampsia set in. So my feet were just swollen and painful to walk on all the time. At first, to be honest, I didn't know it was preeclampsia because I'd never had it. But the good thing about this pregnancy is that because I had suffered a loss, I was seeing a consultant because they kind of deal with it as a, what they call it?
High risk pregnancy,
yeah. So I'm seeing a consultant, so I'm getting several scans, which again I was loving. So he then picked up the whole, he's like, how are you, blah, blah, blah. My feet are swollen, but I just said it as a throwaway comment. He was like, oh no, you need, what's it called? It's blood thinning tablets. Aspirin. So I was now like, aspirin? Don't come and kill my baby. So I was like, literally any little thing, aspirin for me, I'm like, no, I don't want it. So I was like, aspirin. He was like, no, it's baby aspirin. It just thins the blood, helps the blood to move around better for circulation. I was just really paranoid. Like, if I had a headache, I wouldn't use paracetamol. Even though people say paracetamol is safe in pregnancy, for me, it's just like, you know, at the back of the boxes, they always say, ask your doctor, because no one wants blame, innit? And so for me, I'm equally not trying to do trial and error. So I was really like careful with all those things. Like, I'd have a headache, I'll try and sleep it off, or try and drink water, all those kind of things. So anyways, they gave me baby aspirin. I had to use it because I needed to, because of the condition I was going through, which was preeclampsia. So I was using it, and it was helping. It wasn't great, but it was kind of managing the situation to the best of its ability, I suppose. Okay. So anyways, I was using that, seeing a consultant, and generally, other than that, I was fine. I think there's like a lot of risks and stuff that come with preeclampsia, but for me, I just had swollen feet. I didn't have any other like bad symptoms. That was
high blood pressure, nothing.
No high blood pressure. Everything was normal, so I was fairly relaxed on that side of things. I had a midwife who, my first time seeing a midwife through like a longer term pregnancy, and I didn't know, because I didn't know what to expect in these checks. I didn't know if she was good or bad. So when I'd go home, my friend would say, oh, did you get like, you know, the length of the baby now? Or did you hear this? I'm like, no. And she's looking at me like, I don't understand that. You're 6 months, you should have this. The whole time, she just chit-chatting, this lady was just chit-chatting.
She didn't like...
She just like, how are you doing?
Anything like that.
She didn't do anything.
What?
So I thought it just happened in my scan. She never ever did.
Oh, but maybe because you were having regular scans.
She didn't never.
But maybe because you were having the regular scans. It was like, why double up?
Possibly, but for me, it's when my friends are saying that to me,
you're
alarm
feeling
goes
away.
in my head, like, okay, Shane's doing her job properly, and I can't afford for someone not to do their job properly. So straight away, I'm calling the people, like, I want to change my lady, change her to someone else. And even when I changed over, the guy who I then had, he was like,
a male midwife?
I had a male midwife.
Oh, wow.
And when I first had, when they first told me this your midwife, I was a bit like, what are you doing there? Like, it was a bit uncomfortable, because I wasn't familiar with that. Yeah. But to be honest, he was amazing. Like, he was absolutely amazing. And he was quite surprised that she didn't do all of these things. So clearly it's not because I had a consultant, it's clearly something they should be doing. Maybe she did take a backseat because she knew I had a consultant. It could be that. So anyways, I was now more at ease, and this is why it's good to talk, because if I didn't speak to my friends, I wouldn't know what to expect. So I wouldn't, do you know what I mean? Anyways, fast forward. So he was great, he was amazing, and pregnancy generally was fantastic. Fine. So towards like, I think when I was like 35 weeks, I was just starting to get tired. I was always tired at work, and I just feel like they weren't really respecting the fact that I was pregnant at work. Like, you know, they still treat you like an employee. And I understand I'm working, but it's like I'm working under different conditions. And I expect them to appreciate that. They were like, oh, can you grab something from the printer? I'm thinking the printer.
Really?
That's
I'm surprised because I thought most workplaces would be more.
I'll be honest, when I was working at the time, yeah, it wasn't great. And I think because I carried small, so I just feel like people didn't really appreciate how heavy I was because I carried very, very small. So I think at the time it didn't feel like you're heavy, you're not struggling kind of vibe. So anyways, I took leave from work. I took early holiday because I just thought, yeah, I need a break. I can't be doing this. So after I left work, I was at home. One morning, I woke up needing to go to the toilet, and I had the trickle. I didn't have the
gushing.
I had
How did you know it was your waters? You said you needed to go to the toilet.
I need to go to the toilet. As I was walking, I'm walking, and I'm obviously not like pushing for a wee. It's just something just trickling down my leg. So I'm looking, and I'm like, and I literally, Sadie! I'm just screaming his name. Like, why? I don't know, because I wasn't even panicking. I don't know what it was. I just started screaming anyway. I was just screaming. So it comes out. I thought, oh my God, I think it's time. But because I didn't know what to expect, I'm excited. I'm just so many things in one. I'm like, we have to be quick. I'm not feeling anything, but I'm like, we have to be quick. We have to hurry up. Because, you know, where's the baby bag? I'm like, just on a high. I'm just on a high. So anyways, we get ourselves, I'm like, oh, wait, you can't go, you can't go. Like, I'm just ready. I called my mum. My mum lives very, very far away from me at this time. I'm like, get yourself ready, baby's coming. Everybody get yourself ready. Give me my alarms, fine. Anyway, so we got ourselves ready, we went to the hospital. Got there, and she checks, and she's like, yeah, you haven't started dilating, so just sit in the corridor, you know, just wait.
Wow.
That thing is very rude.
Such an anticlimax.
Even the chair they give you, and you know, I told you I was on a high. Me, might as well have had banners outside. I was delighted.
You know what? It's interesting that they told you to wait because more time they send you home.
They send you home. But I think it's because I had the high risk or whatever. I think that's the only reason they kept me there. So she told me to sit down. The chair was so uncomfortable. I was there for hours. I mean, like 6 hours. No one's calling me, and there's bare people sitting there. But then the thing is, I've noticed they're going and they're not coming back. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm taking a piss because really these people are having their babies. I'm not dilating, I am just here. So after a while, the lady comes back to me, she checks me again. She's like, look, go home, just, you know, just give it time. Like, it's not really quite there yet. Once your contractions are every, I think, 5 minutes or so, she's like, then make your way down. But she's like, for now, there's nothing we really can do. So that's fine. So, because I wasn't preparing, by the way, this was at 37 weeks. So this was quite early from the actual due date. So all of this was a surprise. That's why I was all like, So when I went home, I was like, I wasn't prepared for baby, quote unquote. I was prepared in terms of his stuff, but I hadn't done my hair. That's what I mean. And I went to so I went on my way home. I was going back expressions.
Oh my God.
Now my mum, we need to do single flat. So when people see me, I look neat. So whilst I'm now getting my contractions, guys, I'm there, guys, doing my hair. My mum's doing my single flats. I'm sat there. She's, are you okay? I'm like, 1 minute. Then it goes, I'm like, okay, continue. I bring myself in the middle. I'm like, okay, mum, do all the rounds. I can pack it. So when they see me, I look neat. The woman's just thinking like, he's not having a baby. Are you going to a party? What's going on here? Anyways, I sat there. I did my hair. And then one thing I noticed is that as I was doing the hair, which would probably took about 4 hours, as I was doing the hair, the contractions were getting shorter and shorter. So I was thinking, okay, great, I'm getting close. So that's why I said to do front and leave the middle, whatever. So they were getting shorter and shorter. They got to 10 minutes. Then they got to 8 minutes. So I'm thinking, okay, I think we need to start wrapping up here. Suddenly they disappeared and they started coming an hour at a time again.
I heard that happens, yeah.
And then, so they come in an hour, I was thinking, what's going on? So I start walking around thinking, hello, like, what's happening here? Then suddenly I get nothing for like 2-3 hours. It's nothing. So my mum was like, anyways, everybody's going to rest now. I'm like, no, like, my baby's coming. For me, it's like, what do you mean? This is a moment. Like, what are you talking about? But obviously, there's nowhere to go because clearly everything just literally came to a halt. So anyways, I went to bed and I was just thinking, why is everyone okay? We're going to sleep. Like, everyone's just like, all right then, yeah. Like, Sadiq's laying down, about to start snoring. I'm just thinking, nah, like, no one's respecting my body. Anyway.
Wait, Paul.
I didn't sleep.
So, the trickle, was it still happening?
No, the trickle had stopped.
It stopped.
The trickle had stopped. The contractions were getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
Because you know some people trickle, but they never ever have that. They just trickle and that's it. It happens differently for different women and different pregnancies. So for me, it was just when the contractions start and I start dilating, I go to hospital and have a baby, isn't it? So anyways, we went to sleep, and like after a while, after a few hours, I realised I'm gonna have to sleep now because clearly nothing's happening. So I went to bed first thing in the morning. I think we called, I don't know if it's the midwife or someone, and they were like, even in the next few hours nothing's happening, just go anyways because your water had broken the day before, so you don't want to expose the sac for too long, all the rest of it. So I waited a few hours and then we went. Still nothing's happening. So by this point, I'm a bit unsettled because I'm a bit like, is this normal? You start Googling things, of course. You're just thinking, why has it suddenly stopped? Was the trickle, did I mistakenly? I'm now just confused. I'm just confused. So I get to hospital anyways. I get there and she's like, okay, you did have a trickle, but your sac hasn't fully broken.
Yeah.
I didn't know about all this stuff. So I'm like, so what does that mean? She's like, we're gonna have to break your waters. So break your waters for me, rewind you know, like when you watch, like when you go to all these like community classes to do with pregnancy and stuff like that, I never used to listen to anything because I just used to think there's nothing to listen to. Is it not just having a baby? Don't ask me why. I don't understand. So when she's saying break your waters, I'm not clued up because I didn't allow myself to be. Even the app, when it's bringing up, I think I don't need that. I'm moving on to like what bottle I want to buy for my baby, what baby bag I want to have. That's all I care about. So I'm just thinking, okay, cool. I didn't understand the process much. So anyways, they took me to a room. And they said first they're going to give me they put like this fluid internally and said that it's just going to dissolve rather than popping it first. It's going to dissolve and that should make my waters break or something. I don't know.
So they inserted a tablet?
Inserted something.
Okay.
To be honest, babe, whether it's a tablet or something else.
Painful?
The reason why is because the lady put the drip in my hand. Did it so badly, my focus wasn't anywhere else.
Okay.
So this midwife that came to put the drip in my hand, guys, she basically, my veins are quite thin. And you know when you're having a baby, this whole drip thing is part of it. So she's wiggling the needle. I'd never seen my skin. It was literally swollen like this by the time she got in. And obviously it's not in the right place. It was just, and the thing wasn't coming through. It wasn't feeding through. So the water, whatever she was trying to flush in, wasn't flushing in. This girl kept trying. So she had to go, call someone else. I went through all of that hassle. So by this point, I'm just in pain. Because I kept going on the same hand. They finally got in. But I feel like I'm just distracted. I'm tired. I didn't sleep for whatever days beforehand because I was wondering what's happening with the baby. All the rest of it. So she finally got in. So whatever they said, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember. Fine. The thing is, hours later, thankfully my auntie works in the hospital, God bless you. So she got like Sadiq like a mattress, a pillow, the guy was living his life. Remember Stas had these little chairs?
Yeah, the chair.
He would all lay down with a duvet. I was thinking, you look good over there. So fast forward now, and they came to me, I think like maybe about 4 or 5 hours later, nothing had happened. So they said they need to actually induce me with where they pop the water themselves. I didn't know this process was going to be like this, guys. My pain threshold, this is the only patient I have, guys. This is my patient. I don't do all these things. Fine. So the lady came in, the midwife, she's like, okay, she's going to put my water. So she's bringing out this long stick with this thing at the end. I'm just looking at her like, there's no way she's putting this thing inside me. No way. Anyway, she's like, don't worry, just breathe in with the gas and air. Now, I hate gas and air. Why? Because it makes me feel, I don't like not feeling in control of myself. Yeah. And obviously, I suppose it's intentional so you don't feel the pain. But for me, I like to know what's happening at every given time. So I'm trying to suck it. When I'm getting all woozy, I stop. But that's when she's trying to pop my waters. Anyway, so she's trying to pop it. Guys, I'm screaming so loud, yeah. Because remember, at this point, by the way, I'm still not dilating. So all these midwives and doctors just come rushing into the room. Then they were like, what's happening? The lady was like, I'm trying to pop her water. She looks so disgusted, like, I'm sorry to waste your time. They looked at me, one Nigerian auntie, if this is why you're going to be here for them popping your water, I don't know how you're going to have this baby. Is that what this is? I just thought, why are Nigerians like this? You asked me your opinion.
Yeah, they'll give it anyway.
Literally, I asked. But then I started thinking, right, like maybe I'm really in for a really tough ride because this wasn't easy and I was really screaming because I'm so sorry. I haven't dilated. And by the way, this midwife, I want to name her because she might watch this one day. But midwives with big hands need to be quite conscious of people like me who are not dilating. I'm so sorry, but I wasn't dilating and her hands were huge. And they have to put their hand in to guide the thing, the stick. Guys, I think I was screaming more by the hand more so than anything else. Anyway, so the point where I had to ask her to get someone else because it wasn't going to work. It was just not going to work. So anyways, her manager came. She just looked annoyed. Like, you're calling me for this small job, whatever. She came and she popped my water. Again, I was screaming, but I think everyone already realised they have a screamer down the hall, so no one can get it. So I was screaming my head off and she popped my waters. Then I was like, okay, cool. Now we're getting moving. So this is obviously day 2. They put me into a room. So I'm sitting there, and then I'm starting to like contract again. So I'm like, okay, great, we're getting there. Contracting. It was only happening like every hour. So I come back. No, they come back to check me, and this must have been. This is like the following day. It's honestly so long apart. I've slept, I've woken up. Nothing's happening. So they come back to check me, and she's like, okay, you're 2 centimeters.
After 2 days?
2 centimeters after 2 days. And I'm thinking, what? Anyway, so she's like, we're just gonna have to keep going, but we may have to, because now they're concerned that the sac is now gone.
Yeah.
You know, you're open to infections and stuff like that. So they're now more conscious that we may need to move this along a bit sooner. So they said they may need to give you a drip. So you might need to have an epidural.
Yeah.
So they come there like, oh, you may need to have an epidural. I heard that word, and I never ever wanted an epidural from as far as I can remember. Why? Because people have always told me it gives you really big back pains, like, you know, the after effects of them last for the rest of your life. And I just thought, who wants that? Like, so I've always had it in my head that I'm not going to get it. So he said it, and for me, it was like a buzzword. I was like, no, I don't want it. The lady's like, listen, what you're getting, this drip, it intensifies the labour pain. So imagine how people scream on labour pain. She was like, yours is going to be times 10. We just popped your water. She was going to come to explain to me, we just popped your water, you were screaming. Now, what you were meant to go through, you're going to go through times 10. So I would highly advise that you get the epidural. I was like, no, it's fine. Thank you so much. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I think everyone like this, by this point, looking at me sad because I just think I'm going to waste their time, innit? I'm sure that's what they're thinking, like, here we go, this drama one, I want to be single woman. Whatever. So they left. So another guy came and he tried to really appeal to me. He's like, can I bring the epidural person to you and just let them explain to you what the pros are, the cons are? Because I think maybe you've got these preconceptions in your head. That might not actually be what it is, all the rest of it. Fine. So, to be honest, I wasn't interested, but he was just like, yeah, just let them come. Because they were almost begging me to have it. So he was just like, just let them come. Like, fine. So the guy came and he was like, what's your fears about it? So I explained. And he was like, no, it doesn't have no long-term effects. It doesn't affect your back. And I just thought he's lying because I just feel like too many people have told me this. So you people just want me out of your bed. You don't want me to be screaming. Now I'm just thinking, no, you're lying. There's no way. So anyways, they're like, listen, if you don't get it done now, it may be tricky doing it later, depending on how your pregnancy goes. I was like, I'd rather wait and see how it goes. So they left me alone. Fine. So the lady comes with the drip because now she comes back again, and this is probably like 4 or 5 hours later. I'm still 2 centimeters. I haven't shifted.
Wow.
So, but I'm contracting, but it's not doing anything. Yeah. So they get the drip. They set me all up. So they're like, just prepare yourself. Now, because I've always had really bad period pains, I don't mean like regular, I mean almost in hospital all the time for it. So my pain threshold in terms of that, it's not great, but I'm used to that pain, I'm familiar with it. So I felt like I should be able to deal with it. And lo and behold, it was painful, but it felt like what I'd been through before. So it wasn't the worst thing in the world. So I'll scream through it and I'll be fine. So I was going through it. So they're putting on all these like different songs, these upbeat songs. I'm like, trying to sing through the pain, like, you know, bouncing on the ball, doing all you can do. Fine. So they come back in and they're like, yeah, you're just not dilating. But the contractions are getting stronger and closer together. But I'm just not moving. So he's like, they're gonna have to turn it up. So they turn it up, they go. They come back, they realise that as they turn the drip up, I start to dilate, but Mikai's heart rate starts to drop. So now and obviously I'm hearing heart rate dropping, I'm just like, turn it off, switch off. I'm not going to take your thing, I don't know. Obviously I'm just thinking heart rate drop, that's the last thing you want to hear. So they're like, they're going to have to turn it back down again, but obviously when they turn it down, I'm just not dilating. So they're now concerned, will it then go back again or is it going to continue? Obviously if there's an open sac, so they're thinking about everything. I'm there just thinking, I don't want my baby's heart rate dropping, so whatever you have to do, I don't care. So by this point they're like, look, let's give you an epidural because we may have to look at other ways of delivery. I have another buzzword I didn't really like. Sorry guys. So when I was saying other types of deliveries, I was thinking, oh, what's that then?
What action?
What's that then? Guys, the guy was to say he's going to bring someone else to come and talk to me about it, so he left. They came back again to come and check me. And they realised that,
now?
Yeah, even me, to be honest, it's a blur. Do you remember how long I was there for? No. Because they were calling every day.
Yeah, obviously, someone says they're going into hospital to have a baby. You think the baby's here, so every 6-7 hours, you're calling, okay, can we see a picture? It's not here.
For days.
Next day, it's not here.
For days.
It's like 3-4 days, it's still not here.
Yeah, it wasn't after 4 days. I was still going through this. But remember, I can't eat as well because now they're considering other forms of delivery. I'm starving. My mum comes, my dad comes to buy McDonald's, sitting in McDonald's. Everyone sat there eating
smells just going into your nose.
And I was sat there. And I was like, sure that I can't have a chip. They're like, no, darling. And I just thought, wow, what kind of life is this? Laptop combo said, all my friends and family, they're calling every minute to the point where I think I just put the phone aside because there's just no point. There's no update. Like, there's no update. Like, just nothing's moving. So, fine. So they come into me and they're like, do you know what? This has to be like, I'm sure 4th day by this point. And then it was just like, okay, we really need to look at different options. They were like, we need to give you this epidural because we might have to look at a C-section. Guys, the second the man says C-section, yeah, I'm not someone who likes to cry. Like, it's just not really my style. This is before Mikado. Now I'm a bit of a crybaby. But before Mikado, like, it depends, but I feel like I'm a bit more open. I can share the tear quicker than before. Before crying is just not the thing I do. Fine. So anyway, so like, I have to look at a C-section. I was like, a C-section? You have to clarify. He was like, yes, we'll just look at a C-section, it's an operation, take to the theatre. He was saying theatre and all these things. He didn't know, like, my face was still straight. I was like, okay, Sadiq was right beside me. I said, Sadiq, can you grab me a tissue? The tissue was the opposite side of the room. As I was walking there, by the time he turned his face, my face was full of tears. And then he was like, you just what? Because he literally just turned around, grabbed the tissue, turned around, and the woman just, so the doctor's like, what's wrong? I was like, I don't want a C-section! Literally. And as I said it, the tears. I really didn't want a C-section. I hadn't got my mind. I'm the kind of person who needs to prepare my mind for these things. I can do it if my mind's prepped for it. If my mind not prepped for it, I don't know, I need to process. So for me, it was just like, it was all just, no, like this is not how it's supposed to be. And I think in my head, I had this dream pregnancy that I was just gonna cough and his head was gonna pop out and I was gonna sneeze and I was expecting your time and then my belly will go back like I was expecting it to just be. So I think all of this was just contrary to what I had in my head. This is why you never know. And I think it's my fault for kind of not preparing myself because the truth is they have this information for a reason. I'm the one who just thought I was something, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because not necessarily a bad thing, but because of the way I set myself up about a good pregnancy, quote unquote, anything else was bad in my books, do you know what I mean? So now I was just emotional, I was just crying. So the guy was like, there's nothing wrong with a C-section, he's having to explain it to me. And honestly, first you're telling me you want to give me an epidural, now you're telling me a C-section, baby heart rate dropping. I haven't even eaten, they've eaten McDonald's yesterday, I'm still hungry, everything's just getting on my nerves, I'm just upset. So I'm just like, I reluctantly agree. So I think because he realised that I was quite reluctant, he was like, give me time to think about it, talk to my husband and come back. And he gives Sadiq the scrubs that he's going to need to wear, and I just thought, they've already started for me, it's finished. Like, it's finished. Anyways, he's talking to me, he's like, what's the problem, like, Sadiq, that is? And I'm just like, I just didn't want to be cut open, it's an operation. I don't know, the whole thing was just a lot for me.
Have you ever had an operation before?
Never had an operation.
Okay, yeah.
And remember, it's not like a planned C-section where they prepare you, they tell you what's going to happen. This is all happening. And they're telling me I'm going within an hour. It's like, it's all just very soon. Do you know what I mean? They're like, we have someone on an operating table. As soon as she comes out, you're going to go on an operating table. Operating table alone in itself is just like a lot. Buzzword. It's like, what's going on? I only came here to have a baby. 4 days on, you're telling me about operating table. So obviously the whole thing was just getting to me. Anyways, they came to give me the epidural, so they're like, don't look at the needle. Apparently that needle is, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Have you seen it? Apparently it's stupidly long. So they're like, don't move, because if you move, it can make a pain.
Oh, the epidural? Yeah. Oh yeah, I had to look, babe.
It's long.
Did you look at it?
I need to know.
How long is that needle?
It's a very long needle, babe. It goes into your spine.
Yeah. It goes into the space between your spine.
You have to,
they told me to prop up on the side of the bed.
Yeah, and the bend over.
Before they even got, I was like, ah!
But you know what? They say don't move, and they tell you to let them know if you're having a contraction, because
they do it when you're
babe.
Halfway through, the needle was in my back. I had to. I've never been. Literally.
This is the thing.
I've never been so
when you're in a position where you know that this is going to affect your life.
Yeah.
You better know. You better know.
You
know, I was reading before when they said this could paralyze you. I said, literally. I can't believe it. He was like, you're right. I didn't even say pimp the whole time. I said, okay, we're done now. Oh, that was painful, man. Nothing's gonna make me move. Nothing on this earth. I'm not. Tell me there's a fire. I'm not moving. I don't care. No one's paralyzing me. So I literally started so as I said, even when he was looking at me because I froze into position. Like, it was the only way I could do it. That thing was painful because you can feel it going up. I could feel it. Like, anyways, so it's gone up. So they give me this like button. So every time you're feeling pain, you press it and it gives like a new flush of the whatever that numbs the pain. I think it numbs you from here down or whatever it does. Anyways, me being me, of course, you've now injected me and you tell me I cannot be in pain. I told you I only have one piercing. Every time I feel ching, that thing became my happy button. Pressing away. So because I still had the drip in, but now they're prepping me for C-section. So I've now had to get my head around the fact that I'm going for a C-section. Something I can do. So I'm now like trying to be at peace. So I made like a playlist like with just all gospel music. So I'm like, so they just start playing it. Let me just kind of relax myself. So they're wheeling me down, and I'm like, I'm trying to be relaxed. You know, like inside there's still a little bit of me that's like operation, but another part of me just relax. So I get there now, and then now we're gonna give you another. What's that injection they used to numb you?
The spinal.
A normal. What's the normal injection they used to numb you?
Anesthetic.
So they said they need literally. It's nothing deep, guys.
In the arm.
So they said they need to give me an anesthetic. So I was like, but isn't this already numbing me? She was like, no, she needs to give it to me. I can't remember why. I remember getting to this room and I was freezing. Oh, these theatres, they're so cold. Like, oh my God. My teeth were clattering. I was just freezing.
And then
also the epidural,
Yes, you get the shivers.
It was a
Get you the shivers.
Side effect of epidural.
Yeah.
So obviously I was already cold. She puts the thing in. No, before she puts the thing in, I'm like, Sadiqa, you're not cold because he's in scrubs and he's fine. And my teeth are literally like clattering. I couldn't control it. I had like goosebumps all over my body. I'm freezing. They kept getting me towels. Then I realized, okay, it's me. No one's as cold as me in this room. So then she was just like, it's the effects of the epidural. And it's, honestly, in that moment, I don't like not feeling control of my body, like I said.
It's terrible.
So feeling like I can't stop my jaw from clattering. I can't do anything. I was just like literally like that. I was just thinking, what kind of pregnancy? What kind of delivery is this? What kind of labour? And the thought of that alone was just annoying me. Anyway, so she was just like, she's trying to talk to me to distract me whilst they're prepping. So I was telling her that, not all anaesthetic works on me. Ask me how I know that, please. I don't know. I was like, it's all strong. Because I don't know what it's on me. Like I said, I've never had a process. I don't know what I was talking about. But anyways, I was like, is this strong? Because she was like, really, what kind of work on you? Why didn't I realize while she was talking to me, she was already doing it. So she was like, what kind of work on you? I was like, you know the time. I was out.
So they put you to sleep. That's why I was saying that.
I started feeling sleepy, so then they started waking me up. Because I felt like, I don't know.
It does make you tired.
It makes you tired.
Really?
Like, they didn't want me to sleep, but I was tired. Like, bear in mind, I've had like 4 to 5 days of no sleep. So I'm now running on like overdrive. So anyways, I'm like in and out. So Talisha trying to talk to me. I can see him, but my eyes are like proper like squinting. Anyway, so he's talking to me and I'm falling in and out of sleep throughout the whole thing. Like, moments I'm sleeping, I feel like I'm asleep for ages, but maybe it was only like 10 minutes. I don't know. But I'm going in and out of sleep, in and out of sleep. So anyways, he's here and I'm so tired. This is the bit that, for me, I would say was the bit I didn't really enjoy about my labour. The most, actually, because most of it I didn't really enjoy. But when he's now born, Sadiq's like, oh, look, he's here. I couldn't even open my eyes. I was so tired, and this thing, whatever, was making me so sleepy. I couldn't see. I was so weak, so tired, so sleepy. And I think the run-up of lack of sleep already didn't help. But then whatever it was that was in the epidural or the anesthesia, whatever it was, all of that stuff was making me just so sleepy. I couldn't take it. So they cut off his whatever, and they bring him to me, and they put him on my chest. I don't know if all this stuff I've used, it was so much, like I couldn't feel him. I was still so numb. This is what I hated the most. So they put me on the chest, like, I'll do skin to skin. I'm like, where is he? I could barely, so they literally using my hand to put on him. Like, this is him, can you see him? I'm like,
They dosed you up.
And the first moments of your pregnancy, of your labour, what you look forward to is the moment you hold your child.
That's
so for me, I kind of felt a bit robbed of that moment that I didn't get the moment I would have expected to get, where I'm like, oh my God, you're here, I could look at him. I could barely see anything. I was just like, As I'm even saying, I'm falling asleep, I wake up again. Like, I'm like, where is he? Because I'm still so numb, I couldn't even feel that he was on me. So he's like, he's on you, don't worry. I feel like by this point he's thinking, like, what are you doing to my wife? Like, what's going on here? I was like, okay, fine. So they're wheeling me away and everything went well. I'm like, really? Literally, he's on me, I'm just in and out of sleep. As funny as it sounds now, in that moment,
it's scary.
It's actually horrible. I just want to be happy. I want to talk to my husband about the birth. I want to talk about my child. I want to just, you know what I mean? Or what does he look like? I just feel like I was out of it. So out of it. So anyways, they brought me to a recovery room. I'm in this recovery room now. Sadiq is there. And then, like, I wake up and guests are in the room. I'm not going to lie, as much as I love guests, I do think timing is something that I would consider a bit more moving forward.
I'm looking at you.
Why? Because maybe she said she don't like guests.
No. I was
Because she's always the first person in the recovery room with you.
It's a lot, like, the thing is, I understand from their perspective, you just want to be there.
Yeah.
But for me as well, I've just had an operation. They put is it called a catheter?
Catheter.
Yeah.
Catheter.
Yeah, you got a urine bag.
Urine.
Yeah.
Now I didn't know that because of course when they were doing this, I'm out of it.
Yeah.
So little down there, the guests are sitting there. I was also looking at my weed pocket. What's going on here? Nah.
But the guest would only have been like your mum.
It doesn't matter. Do I know that my weed's been collected and you know when it's filling out? What's that? So this whole experience, I just started to feel like very degrading. Like, what is the meaning of this? Again, I just kept thinking, I just came here to have a baby. Like in my head, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, imagine some yellow bag. So I still didn't know. Can I tell you when I clocked? When the lady came in, she was like, we need to change your, is it called catheter?
Yeah.
And people was like, oh, my sister was like, oh yeah, it's quite full. I thought, wow.
Yeah, to empty the bag, yeah.
So everybody here.
And you don't even know where you're weeing, it's just coming out.
Everybody has been collecting and seeing me urinate. What's that? I felt so humbled in my body. I think, you know, like, I can never be rude to no one again. No, I can't, like, I know my place.
I think that's what birth does to you. You lose all sorts of dignity. All that.
You could slap me in that moment, I'll say it's okay. I realised that anyone can make me anyhow. There's nothing I can say. You've seen my weed. What more do you want to see? Like,
You've seen my weed.
She's like, it's quite full in that moment. I thought, wow, so you people have been seeing it like load up. Do you know what I mean? It's very, you know, you're used to giving it in private. It just, yeah, it was bad. Anyway, it's fine. She's my sister. I love them all. Everyone in the room is family. Don't get me wrong. But it's just, in that moment, it's just a lot. Like, it's a lot. And bear in mind, I'm waking up and sleeping. So imagine you just woke up and someone saying, yeah, her bag's quite full. It's just like, it's too much.
Like, what bag? What are you talking about?
So anyways, they come, they change, and I realise I'm even urinating and I'm not in control of it. I don't know when I'm doing it. All of this, like I said, I don't like feeling out of control of my body. So all of this for me personally, being the kind of person I am, this is getting to me.
Yeah.
It may not get to somebody else who's not that fast, but because I just felt like not feeling in control, it's a personal thing. I'm just thinking like, how can someone come to the hospital and they've now turned them into a person? They're telling you when you're ready to wee and when you're ready to change. It just all started to feel a bit much for me. I just didn't like it. But there's nothing I can do, isn't it? So I'm in the room. So one midwife comes to me now and she's like, oh, here's a syringe. You need to start getting out the
colostrum.
I've forgotten all these terms, you know. Colostrum. So she's showing me, this is what you do. She's like, you just squeeze the boob and you just get it in there. Obviously it's not that simple, but that's the way she said it to me. So I'm there I'm trying to, as I'm holding my boob, I literally fall asleep. That's how out of it I still am. It was so bad. Like Sadiq, the first few hours of Makai being born, Sadiq, man, God bless you. Like, when they say father stepped up, I suppose that is what a father does, isn't it? But for him, I can't imagine how it was, because his first few moments, he was nursing his child, who he's learning how to nurse, and his wife, who he expected to be able. I was just out of it. Like every second, I'm probably up only 2 minutes. Someone was saying, my father-in-law, my mum was like, how are you? And I'm out. Like, it was that bad. So when they all left, throughout the whole night, I still didn't see Mikhail. I feel like I hadn't seen him. Like, it'd been on me, but I hadn't been able to acknowledge him because I'm not awake. So the syringe, Sadiq's now waking me up, oh babe, you need to do the syringe thing. I'm like, what? I'm full asleep. Wake up, babe, you need to, he's like tapping me, waking me up, like, you need to do it. So midwife comes, your baby needs something, you know, it's been like hours and hours now. So now I'm worried, but I still can't help falling asleep. Anyway.
Have they tried to put him on you to breastfeed or because you were out of it?
I think because I was out of it. I could barely even raise my arms. I was so floppy that I just thought, they just probably thought, it's not gonna work. There's no point. So, trying with this colostrum thing, and I just, honestly, it takes that concentration, which I don't have. It takes sitting up, which is really difficult for me right now. Everything's just, it was really just a bad, I don't know, I don't want to say bad, but it wasn't as I expected. It wasn't as upbeat as I would have thought I would be and all the rest of it. So anyways, thankfully, slowly, like, I think my sister bought me Lucozade. I was just trying to like drink whatever I can, try and keep myself up. So I started trying to get colostrum. As I supplied it, I'm falling asleep. Sadiq knows how we fed that baby that thing. Till today, at least it's 3, it's gonna be 4, it's fine. But for me, it was like, I felt like those few moments for me was kind of taken away from me, and I really didn't like that. And then, so when I now kind of adjusted, this is probably the following day, because honestly, I've been in this hospital forever. So these obviously spread the news to whoever's waiting, that yeah, baby's born, but how's mum? She's all right, but you can't speak to her, she's sleeping, innit? So the following day now, I'm slowly starting to come to myself, slowly to kind of easing out of this, but I'm now itching, which is another Side effects of, I think it's epidural.
Epidural, yeah.
I'm itching like crazy. I mean, I'm like, please, itch me here, itch me there, itch me. I'm like trying to scratch my back. I'm like, someone bring a comb. Like, I mean, the itch was unbearable. I'm just thinking, from one thing to another, the whole thing for me was just, it's like, it just felt like it was getting, in terms of me, bad to worse. I want to be able to nurse my child. And I just kept feeling like there's something that keeps stopping me from doing what I want to do right now. And I just didn't like that.
Yeah.
Hey, what can I do? They were just like, the itch will wear off. And lo and behold, I had to just keep itching and trying to firm it. I think they gave me an anti-itch something, to try and ease it, but I wouldn't really say it worked. But hey. Anyways, following day now, people can see I almost lived in this hospital. Following day, family come around, so I'm much more into it now. I'm able to, the colostrum thing, I'm now speaking to the midwives about how do I actually do this myself. So these having to help me, midwives having to help me, because it's not as easy as they make it seem. They just tell you to squeeze, but you have to really position your hand properly, massage it, all the rest of it. So, anyways, long and short, I got to grips with all of that, but I wasn't like flowing because I'd had an emergency C-section at 37 weeks. My body wasn't really ready or prepared to produce the way it should have been, or would have been, should I say. Again, you don't want to feel like you're, I don't know, unable to supply for your child. It's not that I felt like that, but I did feel like my breast should produce milk. I have a baby. I want to give my child milk. Then I was like, I'll bring formula upstairs for you. And obviously someone else kept telling me, breast milk. I think I told you guys about the story. Breast milk this, breast milk that, the other. So I just felt like, no, like I want to try, and I want to breastfeed my child. Like I want to do that. Obviously I'm giving a syringe. We've not really had that bond with breastfeeding bonds and all the rest of it. They're bringing these bowls. I'm just stacking in the corner. I'm just thinking, I'm going to breastfeed this child, whatever it takes me. And honestly, it took determination. In those moments, I realised, I've literally thought to myself, this is how a form of postnatal depression can set in. I swear, it just hit my brain. Because I thought, I've literally not been able to connect with this child. Yeah. It almost felt like I went to sleep, I woke up and I had a kid.
Yeah.
I went to sleep, I woke up and suddenly I'm feeding this kid. It felt a bit like disconnected. And I thought, this is, because before you wouldn't understand it, because why would you?
Yeah.
But in this moment, I thought, if I'm not intentional about this, there could be a feeling in me that just kind of feels like this is you and this is me. And I can't, this is my child. Like, I've waited for this day for so long. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, no. So I would hold him, I was like, I love you, I'm making songs for him, just saying it, not that I don't love him, but I just felt like I had to attack any thought that could possibly come in my mind that made me feel like, where did this baby come from? Because it did feel very sudden. It just felt like I wasn't awake when this baby was born. I wasn't awake when they were doing it. I wasn't there. So people showed me videos when they were cleaning him. I was out of it. Do you know what I mean? So I had to kind of speak to myself and shake myself up and be like, no, like, and I was praying. I was like, I love this child in Jesus' name. This is my child. I love him with everything. And God knows, man, he's my little sugar. But in that moment, I just feel like that whole birthing experience, I went through so many different types of lows. Not lows of like in terms of like being depressed, but just more so like just things I didn't expect that just weren't. They were just like, and I had to get myself out of it, like, because I don't even want to talk about it to someone and make it a thing. I'm just gonna attack it quickly. That was my way, and it worked for me personally. So, anyways, fast forward now. They're now telling me they're gonna remove my catheter. Thank God I can go and be in private. So I was like, oh, brilliant, great news. They remove it, and like slowly now I'm now getting to me. My milk is not coming through, but I'm able to like give it. He's able to get on there and get some milk. Also, when he first gets on there, I didn't know what the latch felt like because at first, remember I was listening to me when that latch came, it reminded me of when they were popping my water all over again.
Did you scream?
I screamed. I was like, this is so painful because it hurts. The first latch is, and it's so tiny. It's just like, what's happening here? Anyways, so long and short. My bundle of joy was born, and I think it was a few days later we were going home. So the next day they came to they told me the midwife's going to come and remove the plaster on my C-section. So obviously that will happen at home or whatever, so I was like, fine. But when you bath, when you have a shower, you're not supposed to get it wet, which is very difficult. So when I'm in the shower in the hospital, I'm like, it's just awkward. Like, how do you not get this area wet? It's just, so I'm doing all this taekwondo in the bath, like, breakdowns, trying to get myself showered. Fine. And I had these nappy pants, ones I told you about, which really helped because that kind of protected that area a little bit. So I'll just rip that, wear a new one because, it helped. Fine. Anyways, fast forward now, when we were going home, I had a C-section, so people just bounced back. Now, what people didn't tell me about a C-section, plus this hospital, is you're supposed to get up like within a few hours after you've had a C-section to kind of get your body moving, get your blood moving. I didn't know this. My auntie works in hospital, she wasn't on shift for like 2-3 days. So when she came back, she's like, have you stood up? I'm like, no. She's like, what? This 3 days later. She's like, what? I'm like, no. She's like, oh my God. She's like, let me go and get you, I don't remember, she's like, what's strong painkiller? She's like, it's gonna hurt, but you need to use this painkiller, you need to get up. I was thinking, Auntie, what's wrong with you? I just had a baby, can you relax? Like, it's not that deep. She was like, no, if you don't get up, you're not gonna be able to walk. Lo and behold, guys, because I didn't get up immediately, this is why I think I was wrongly prepping you, because you obviously got up, I don't know. When I got up, guys, it literally feels like somebody is using a knife and carving your stomach. Like, the pain is unbearable. And every time I try and move a leg, it feels like a stitch is being popped. It just felt like something's ripping inside. Nothing is ripping, but because I had stayed in this position when they sewn it together, my muscles, everything is numbed around it into that position. I obviously don't know all this stuff. So, and for some reason or another, I didn't have a good midwife at the time who would tell me to get up. So guys, I was in agony. To get up was painful, like so painful, like honestly, I was near tears. I'm just like, I can't. You know when you're about to stand up and you're preempting the pain and the thought of the pain alone was just too painful. Fine. Anyways, so I started getting up, but very, very slowly I'm like huddled over because I can't stand straight because again, if I do...
Oh, my belly's
Oh, guys, it was a really bad experience for me. Anyways, fast forward, it's home day. I finally, because they also gave me injections. When you have a C-section or any surgery, I know you had it. But generally, I know you have the injections, I know they give you injections to feed the blood.
Yeah.
I do not do injections. Injections are me. I told you, 1 year person. So they give me a pack, and I'm looking at that. I'm like, is there tablets? Is there another form of this? I'm not good with this.
That's why I said, can I just stay here?
She was like, no, I'm afraid not. You have to take it, blah, blah. She's telling me that all the dangers of not taking it. So he's hearing this, he's like, no, babe, you have to take it. And I'm just thinking, to be honest, I was trying to avoid speaking hearing because I was going to go throw it in the bin. Until I heard, honestly, I was trying to avoid by all means. Hearing dropped. I was trying to avoid by all means having to use that thing. Anyway, so Sadiq had to start doing it for me because I couldn't bring myself to inject myself. So I started injecting myself, all the rest of it. Fast forward, anyways, we're going home. So I'm walking around the hospital. Now I've started moving a bit, so I'm okay. I go into the lift, we're going downstairs. I've got family, everyone with me because, to be honest, I need all the support I can get right now. So we get in the cab because my hospital was essential. And guys, to sit in the cab, I've not had to sit. Remember, I stood and I've kind of slid myself back on the bed, but I've not had to sit. To sit in the cab, I was literally, the pain was everything. I had to shut my eyes, I was holding everything, slowly sat down. Every speed bump felt like it was ripping my...
I remember that.
Honestly,
I had to say.
It's the worst pain. I can't compare it to anything. I can't compare it to anything. Felt like it was ripping on every... I even told him, can you check if there's speed bump? Maybe because I can have a road. I can't do this. Like, it's too much. Fine. I managed to make it home. At the time, I was living in a flat. My block does not have a lift.
Oh, babe.
Let's walk upstairs.
I didn't think about this when I was going home. I just wanted to be at home. I wanted Makai to be in his lovely cot that I'd got prepared for him. You know, all of that. So as we pull up in front of my house, it's like suddenly dawned on me that, hold up.
How are you getting inside?
How am I getting to my house?
What floor did you live on?
The ground first, second. So yeah, there's a few steps to go up.
Okay.
There's no lift. So as I coming out of the cab already, I was screaming, like literally screaming. My mother-in-law, God bless her, she was like holding me, she was holding everything, holding baby, holding everything. So these like holding my other arm. We're just trying to make it work, like fine. So as we get to the door, I was like, Jen, I can't do this. And I think when you go through so many stages of psyching yourself up to go through it, like popping my balls, I have to psych myself up. Going for a C-section, psych myself up. Epidural, I'm okay, I can do it. I feel like I ran out of what I can do, and I just felt like, no, I can't. And for the first time, I literally said, I can't do it. So my mother-in-law, bless her, she was like, okay, she'll go to my house. We can call another car because she has a lift. She's like, she'll go to my house. And I was like, yeah, maybe because I can't do it. But all the stuff we need is upstairs. To move all the stuff, it's just not practical. It's not realistic. Like there's nothing. Everything's in the house. So Sadiq was like, we can do it. Like, we can do it. You know when he said that, I just burst out and says, this is when I realised that this girl can cry. Because from this point when I felt like, though they're not minor things, but I wouldn't have been as quick to tears.
Also the hormones as well.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot, man.
You've been through a lot.
I literally burst into tears. I was like, I can't do it, I can't. And I literally, my heart was breaking inside, thinking this pain that I've had just coming out of the cab, wanting to go up all the stairs. So I was like, okay, I'll carry you. But the thing about when someone carries you is that they lift your legs and lift your back and crease you up in the middle. As he tried, I was screaming, put me back down again. My mother's like, let me take the baby upstairs. Let me take the bags. Let me take all that stuff. And you guys sort yourselves out.
Yeah.
So I had really strong painkillers. Can't remember what they're called now. But it was prescribed for me. So he was like, okay, use these painkillers. Take the drink. Let's just chill. Let's wait for it to go in. Settle, kick in, and then go up. We did that. Once it kicked in, we started going up. I was obviously still screaming because I'm still feeling like, you know, like a shoelace, yeah? Imagine just ripping violently out of the holes. That's how it felt, like the stitches were just pulling out one. I literally screamed the whole way. So when I got halfway through the steps, I was like, Sadiq, I don't know, maybe we should call an ambulance. They have a stretch bed, they can stretch me up. I was like, I can't do this. Then I could hear my son crying. That's what pushed me. Mothers, man. I heard his cry, and I remember Sadiq saying, your child's crying, come on, like, he needs you. Sorry.
That's fine.
And in that moment, I was like, yeah, my child needs me. So that, I don't know where I got that strength. And this is why I said it's that mothering thing, like that parent, like when you're a parent, doesn't matter the pain, you'll go for it for your child. Like, I thought, yeah, I have to get up there, like my child needs me. And somehow, guys, I just went, so I think Sadiq was so proud, he was like, well done, man. Because honestly, I was not having it, I was not moving. So when I got up to the top, I was just looking at this boy thinking, how I wish I was like able to just jump around. And yeah, I kind of felt like you're getting the not so active side of me, like, do you know what I mean? Like, all the little pictures I would have wanted to take, if people were taking it, thank God, so at least I have that, but I didn't really take as many I didn't really do as much as I know I would have done if I was myself. Anyway, so we got to the house, and thank God, like, I got this, basically I barely moved, long and short. Thank God I live in the flats, everything's at one level, but like, even to breastfeed, like leaning over, so I had to get like 2 of those breastfeeding pillows to make him high enough, so I don't have to. It was just a lot, but I think there's so many other things that I don't want to go into today because I think it's a very, very long story. But all in all, my actual, it's funny because my pregnancy was fine. Other than the swollen feet, which I didn't get any bad symptoms from, I was fine. But the labour was like, you know, I honestly, I'd never expected. I felt quite, I don't know, just overwhelmed by it all. It was just like, wow, like who thought I was going to come back to his house a whole week and a half later? You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't, it was weird. Little things, thank God, Sadiq, he was at home for months, to be honest, and he was just helping with everything. He moved on that, he was working at school at the time, which was brilliant. Mikhail was born in the summer holiday, fantastic. And so literally, he was helping with everything, and the support I had with my family, you know, that was, I can't compare it, like, because the pain and the aftercare, like, and the thing for me is that you'll see mums, after they have their children vaginally, going out for walks in the park with their kids, saying they should walk around, and you're here, you can't leave the house. And you get a bit homesick. Like, I wanted to get fresh air, but the stairs alone, when I think about it, I forget the fresh air, it's fine. Open the window, I'll breathe that window, it's fine. Like, because that alone, it was a lot for me. Yeah. However, on the other side, having my bundle of joy, honestly, there's nothing like it. And I would go through it all over again if you give me him. Like, so in all honesty, yes, it was bad, but as you can see, I've had to jog my memory because you forget about all of that. You start looking at their first tooth and their little milestones, and when they're crawling, you know what I mean, when they get their shape up, when they say, "Mommy, I love you," and all of this, it's just like, it's just something of a distant memory. It's just it's no big deal anymore. So yeah, my birthing story wasn't as I planned. It was definitely very emotional for me, but here I am, and I'm happy.
And you've done an amazing job.
Yes.
He's such a lovely boy.
Thank you.
I love that boy so much.
Thank you.
Hello, Auntie. So with his little smile,
so cute.
so polite, so cute.
Thank
With
you.
his dancing girl.
In it. This is the same boy. Just yesterday. You want a bam bam? You want a G with a big boy?
Can you imagine?
Keep your mouth shut, Joy. But like, it's funny how as they grow, these things just
The fact that you even said you'll do it all over again.
Exactly.
Really,
But you know,
yeah,
this is a blessing, and this is what I guess women are blessed with, is that forgetting your, you know what I mean? Like, otherwise you wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? It's what comes out, isn't it? It's your precious bundle of joy, like you're saying. Like, it's priceless.
He's everything to me, and honestly, I just want to say that if you're pregnant, expecting a child, please do your research. Research on C-sections, research on everything, popping
Every
waters,
possible outcome.
anything and everything there is to read up about labour. just read it.
Yeah.
It may not be yours, but it's better to kind of feel like you know what's going on than to feel like you're unaware and you're just being dragged from pillar to post.
Yeah.
It's not a nice feeling. So if I could go back, what I would change is I would just read a lot more. I'd have myself in a position where I'm more knowledgeable about everything.
And it's knowing that, you know, your pregnancy or your birth may not go to plan. It might not go to exactly how you know, we have this vision and it's always a fairy tale. It's always lovely, but sometimes it isn't. Exactly. But just know that as long as your baby's safe and they arrive and, you know, there's no other complications, you're good, you know?
Exactly.
And that's all you want, innit? You're bouncing baby, boy or girl.
Exactly. And if you've had a C-section and you don't have lactation coming through as much, what's that fenugreek?
Yeah.
Fenugreek. This one, she plugged me all the time. When you get it from the USA or somewhere. This one shipping tablets from Ayoola, there's a new one, got me something. Anyway, we'll probably put a little something in the description box. But it really helps for people who have C-section, especially because the body doesn't kick in as quick as it needs to, because it kind of goes through a bit of a culture shock. So we'll let you know.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks, Ayoola, for sharing your story, honestly. If you've enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. And we'll see you next time. Love, Mums and Melanin.
Bye.